What's up, social media, Facebook Live? I think we're on like 4 different lives. We're on YouTube. Couldn't get Instagram to work. It always whoops my butt. That yellow duck never connects. But we are here with Treasure Davis out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. She runs a team, massive team, 400 plus transactions a year, very influential, does a lot with the community, started at Remax, did her own, I won't say started at Remax, but, since I've known her, she was at Remax and then did her own independent brokerage. Now she's here at EXP. How's it going, Treasure?
It is going great. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm a little worried about this weather. It's going to get me sick. It's like 17 degrees, then 50. I don't know. So I think I'm just going to burrow myself in my house so I don't get sick. How are you guys doing?
We are doing great. We are getting ready for a COVID-friendly client appreciation event in, let's see, about 30 minutes. So nice. We are going crazy, but we want to get out there this year and start loving on our clients in ways that feel good to everybody. So
yeah. What are some of the ways that you guys are doing that? Because I know it's a touchy subject and people have really had to get creative. Everyone's like, oh, this will only last 30 days. Well, we're like 12 months later and nothing's really changed. It has, the umbrella's changed a little bit, but there's still that worry. How are you guys dealing with that?
We're in the same marketplace. So that we went from essential to non-essential, essential, non-essential. And then there was the pact of, not showing homes and doing it safe. And so we have really strict guidelines for anybody who wants to come into our office. We take temperatures, have them sign in that they're not sick, have them take temperatures. If they have one symptom, we're having people work from home. We're just getting back into the office now. And then whenever we're showing properties, obviously we're following the PPE setup, making sure that we're masked and gloved and wiping everything down. We're putting that in all of our listings as well. We just want to make sure that everything that we're doing is protecting the consumers, protecting ourselves, and protecting our colleagues. Because as you know, our colleague reputation and our colleague relationships are really important to us. So we just want to make sure everything we're doing makes it easy for everybody. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully I'll get some tips or tricks on how to do some client appreciation, But I do want to backtrack pretty far in the past. And I want to hear about Treasure Davis and how she got started in real estate. Ooh. I've heard it on podcasts. I think I texted you one time. I was like, hey, that was an amazing podcast, right? With Tom Ferry. And, I definitely pulled some nuggets from there. So I know we're kind of limited on time, but what did that short journey look like?
The short journey, I don't know how short-winded I am in general, so I'm going to apologize up front.
Oh, you're good.
But my husband and I worked at a medium security male prison. So my husband was an officer and I worked in administration. And I worked there for 5 years. I learned a lot about real estate from working in a prison. Just kidding.
Client relationships.
There's some definite similarities for sure. And so my husband and I were working 4 jobs. So I also owned a wedding store. We both worked at the prison. And then he also had a landscape business. So we were just working all the time, living in a small mountain community. A lot of you know that live in Colorado called Salida. That's where my husband was born and raised. And so my father-in-law was selling real estate in Colorado Springs. And every time I called him, he was living the high life. He was at baseball games and hockey games and doing all this stuff and wasn't working as hard. Well, what I didn't know then that I know now is that in real estate, you have to make sure you pay your taxes. So there was a piece of that needed to be taken care of, which obviously alters what you make. But he said to me, he was like, if I can do this, you can do this. And I was like, okay. And so we took a huge, gigantic, scary leap of faith. We moved our 2-year-old over to Colorado Springs That's when they were doing stated income loans in 2005. So I quit my job. We sold the businesses, moved here. My husband kept his job there. We did a stated income, bought a home. I started working real estate, and then he was like, this drive is brutal. So he quit, came over, and then my father-in-law hit it big in a multi-level marketing healthcare program, and said, I don't think I'm going to sell real estate anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, we just left the security of state jobs, state pension, state everything to do this. And so I just went to my broker who, at that time, I was with Century 21. And I went to him, Nolan and Denise Birds. They're still in the market today. I'm selling houses. And I said, what do I do? And he said, do this, do this, do this. And I stepped close to him and door knocked and did all this stuff. And slowly but surely, rode the 05 to 09 wave of short sales, foreclosures, HUD homes, VA homes, all of that. So I remember the days of having to have a whole box of towels and things in your car. So when they turned on the utilities and it started flooding, you had stuff to take care of the flood really quickly, and the bank-owned repo houses. It was always a good time.
Yeah. Do you think, I know nobody's got a crystal ball, but what's your take on what the market's doing right now, right? We're riding high right now, right? Some people are, right? I mean, it's hard out there for buyers right now. We can all agree, right? People are just getting beat up, and it's really it's kind of sucks to see sometimes, seeing these people having to put 10, 20, maybe 30 offers in. What do you see the market going? How do you see this going? Like, it can't keep going like this.
I don't know. So we're going to talk about some spicy things today. And I'm going to be a little controversial, I guess.
Okay.
I like to be a little controversial.
Me too.
So my take, which I could be totally wrong, which is how I feel sometimes when I'm pricing houses right now. I'm like, oh, I think it's going to sell for this. And then it sells for this. And I'm like, huh, who knew?
Yeah.
I don't obviously have a crystal ball either. But I think with as much press and as amazing of a state as Colorado is, I think people have been wanting to get here for a long time. Our military in Colorado Springs has never been stronger. And I think our prices are going to continue to go up just because of our 300 days of sunshine, our mild temperatures. We don't get as much snow as they do in the mountains. We're not humid. We don't have cockroaches. We don't have all these bugs. I think that it's going to make us a really desirable place to live. Plus, so many military that are coming back to retire here. So I don't see us having a bubble. I see our prices continuing to rocket. Now, I think they're going to level out a little bit more, but I don't see them dipping back to what they were, when I was first in the business. I do think that it's going to get spicy for realtors. I mean, right now, I think there's way too many realtors across the country than honestly there are buyers and or houses for. And I think that as the market continues to be so tough, I think people are going to say, buyers are frustrated, buyers agents are frustrated, listing agents are frustrated, sellers are frustrated. When they have to go over 35 offers, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. I mean, people think that it's amazing, but it's really stressful for people. And knowing, what offer is good, making sure that we're getting, the proof of funds for appraisal deficiencies, doing all of that, like, it takes more time. I just think it's stressful for people in general. And I think that as the buyers lose out, puts a lot of pressure on us agents, because we're really not making anybody happy. In the whole transaction, like, everybody's just a little bit stressed. And so I think that as the market continues to do this, that I think it's going to push some realtors out of the way that, how many months can you afford to not sell a home? Because we still have fees and dues every single month, whether we sell homes or not. So how long can people afford to do that with, what are we at right now? 360 homes on the market total.
Crazy.
For 5,000 of us. I mean, I think that's going to be where it gets a little spicy.
I made a joke the other day. People are like, oh, I just want to be a listing agent. I was like, just so you know, it is just as stressful when you have 70 offers, people aren't reading the showing notes, and they're calling you to schedule, right? Which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, hey, and then you have to put all these offers together so your seller can comprehend them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just as much work. So
and people are crying, and we have long-time relationships with realtors, and they're like, please, we've lost out on 10, we've done this. And then your sellers, you go to them and you give them all the options, and then sometimes they throw you a curveball and don't do what you think they're going to do, and then people are disappointed and they're mad, and some realtors are calling and yelling, and they're just frustrated. It has nothing to do with them. It just has to do with the climate that we're in. But it's really unfortunate. I mean, we had a glitch yesterday with showing time. And it merged our listing with another listing, and it caused some confusion. And they fixed it right away, but it was a little dicey for a few minutes, and it's just what happens. I mean, we're in the technology thing, and if there's nothing else we learned in 2020, it's that we have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
When Zoom doesn't work, when Instagram doesn't work for your StreamYard, you just have to be like, it's fine. We're gonna go with this. It's okay.
Yeah, is what it is, right? I'm glad we brought that up. All right, another conversation, if you will. I know you're tied in with Zillow, right? You're on there. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're on a board, right? All that stuff, right? There's been some talk that Zillow's trying to take over. They're trying to kick realtors out. They come in, they acquire showing time. People are worried about data. Can you share some insight on this? Like, do us realtors, right? I mean, realtors need to be pushed out that, maybe they need to go, whatever, they need to go somewhere else. But we got too many of them. But what do you foresee in this relationship with Zillow, showing time, and the realtors that aren't going to go to the Zillow brokerage?
So I don't foresee, again, I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
I'm on the advisory board for Zillow, but that I don't have insider secrets that, that I know.
Yeah.
But what we do get to do is help influence decisions at times. And so one of the decisions that this board that I'm on made last year, I was not a part of this decision, but it was one of the things that really prompted me to want to get involved, was when COVID hit. This board helped make the decision to give realtors that were spending money a 50% break on their bill during, the COVID times for like a month, and then it kind of broke. And that was amazing. And so I was like, that's really nice, because they didn't have to do it. Not everybody that we work with did it. So I thought that was super nice. I will start off the conversation by saying, I've been a Zillow partner for over a decade. I have been there when they used to just email leads out, and now I'm there when they're making live connections. What I will say, and this is very controversial.
I love it.
It's not Zillow that is running the show. Zillow, there are consumer needs that are not being met. And Zillow is the platform that is meeting them. Because we live in an on-demand society. People want things now. And unfortunately, sometimes in our profession, sometimes we don't act on demand. We push people off. We don't get the information they need. We make it about us and not about the consumer. And Zillow is all about the consumer. And I think that for us, it's really important to look at our businesses and say, are we going to be Blockbuster, or are we going to be Netflix? What are we going to be? Because we're at a pivotal point. I personally don't feel that they bought showing time for our seller data. I could be wrong about that. Why they bought it is for the ease of setting showings for live connections, because the live connections right now come, and sometimes the home is under contract, right? So this will make it easy for them to just schedule that showing and make it easier. And the reason why, so this is also very controversial, and you're gonna get, we're both gonna get so many messages over this. Here we go. The reason why I believe, and I have no insider information on this, the reason why I believe Zillow got into the MLS game is because so many MLSs were withholding the information from them. And they needed to provide accurate data for the relevancy of their website. And MLSs were blocking them out of it. So what are they supposed to do? They have to have the data. And they were getting hate for having wrong estimates and all of this. So they corrected that. And then MLSs were like, we're blocking you out. We're blocking you out. We're blocking you out. So then they joined themselves. It's like, we're doing this to ourselves instead of realizing that it's the consumer. It's the way consumers want to buy and sell homes. Instead of us realizing that, we're making it about us. They will always need realtors because this is not a transactional business. This is a relational business. They will always need us. We are a pivotal part of this. And I see you're smiling, so I don't know if you're getting comments.
No, I'm smiling because it's a great perspective, right? That nobody has stopped to think about. They just want to blame, point. And they never take the time to go to the mirror, right? And I've been in the business only like 28 months, right? So I haven't seen everything. I don't plan on seeing everything. I know that I'm still learning it. So I actually didn't even stop to take that perspective. So I appreciate it. I buy Zillow leads so you're not the only one getting crucified. Our team buys Zillow leads, right? Pueblo, Colorado Springs, we're happy with it. So,
but Realtor.com was around before, and Realtor.com, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was backed by NAR. It just didn't have the same direction and the same platform that Zillow took. But they never crucified Realtor.com the way, like, if you buy Realtor.com leads, you're okay. Like, Realtor.com is about to do the same thing with OpCity and with all of that. So it's about to get really controversial over there, but we're so focused on this one, like, oh, it's Zillow. It's like we have to name the monster, but the monster is technology is changing and the way people do things is changing. And I even found myself with my husband at the doctor today, and I'm like, well, why can't we do that now? Why can't we do that? Why do I have to wait? I want it now. So if that's the way that I feel when I'm looking to buy or sell homes, I want it now so that I can make an informed decision as to, my husband got hurt skiing and we need to know if he has to have surgery or not. And I'm like, well, why can't we know that now? Why can't we know if we're doing that or not so I can make an informed decision? It's the same with buying and selling homes. If that's one of the biggest stressors in people's lives, divorce, death, buying and selling homes, changing jobs, we don't have to make this difficult. And a lot of times realtors make it difficult just by the way that they communicate with each other. We're all working toward the same goal. And I think sometimes people forget that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Good luck with this.
No. I mean, I love it. Like I said, it was a perspective I didn't have that I didn't think about. So I appreciate that. I don't really care what other people say, right? If they want to get angry about it and comment below, I probably won't even respond. So, but I do want to say one thing. I want to pivot again because you mentioned Netflix Blockbuster, right? And I kind of want to talk, and hopefully don't get upset me sharing this story. Our first conversation, Treasure, I called you. I was so freaking excited about the brokerage I just joined, right? Brand new in real estate. I just started looking up all these people. I'm like, who are the top people in the city that absolutely don't know me because I've never sold a house before. I was brand new, right? And you're like, hey, I appreciate it. You were like you're super nice to me. You're like, hey, I appreciate it. I already talked to Kyle Whistle, which I respect that, right? Someone that's going to be blunt and honest with me. I have a military background, right? I appreciate that more than saying, oh, we'll get together next week or we'll get together in a month. No, just shoot it straight to me. Mm-hmm. So I want to kind of hear, and I want everybody else to hear, like, what did you see? Like, because it was 2 years owning your own brokerage, right? Why now? Like, what did you see? And like, I know Kyle's amazing. Tess and we actually did a call with him. I said, hey, Kyle, we need some help with our systems. Can you help? He said, yeah, get on my calendar. Cool. Got on his calendar. I was in Germany, I think, at the time, and we did a call with him, and he like helped us out like tremendously. So very grateful for that. But why now?
First of all, you said way too many nice things about Kyle. So
yeah.
We have to stop that right now. No, just kidding.
I know.
Yes. So Kyle obviously has, Kyle and I have been really good friends for 6+ years. We are in the same coaching program, and there was a time pre-COVID where we were basically traveling every single month to a new place. So, and we're in masterminds together and all of that. So obviously I knew when he joined EXP, I was like, what are you doing? You have a very successful brokerage in San Diego. Like, why are you doing this? And he was like, just watch. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like, do you want to come over? And I'm like, no. And I was still at Remax at the time. And I was like, no. And then just watching him and the growth of his team and everything that's gone on. And the thing that he focuses on, which is so important to me, is the collaboration and their masterminding. There's really, honestly, nothing like it. And actually, when I came over, so I've been at Century 21, and then the brokerage that I was with went bankrupt. And then I went somewhere else for a hot second. Then I went to Remax. I was with Remax for a decade. Loved my broker. But it was just time for us to kind of spread our wings. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And I just needed to do it for myself. And so when Kyle was talking about it, I was like, this isn't the right time. Like, I need to prove this to myself. Well, you think it's very glamorous to be a broker, and it's not. So the couple of things that I wanted to get off my plate was, I don't want to be the employing broker. The great thing about it now is I keep my employing broker status, but I'm a employing broker associate now, which I didn't want to lose all that education I did. And I didn't want to do all the compliance. I'm on the ethics board of the association. It's a really big deal to me that everything is right. And so I was stressing myself out, making sure that all of our files were up to date. Everything was good to go. And I will tell you that the couple of times that I've talked to Jess, she's the Colorado broker. You know that. She's a guru. She's amazing. She's so smart. There was a form that we weren't doing, we needed to do, and we've never done it in our career. And so just knowing that information was a wealth of knowledge to make sure that we are always good to go should we be audited by the Real Estate Commission, or when we're audited, however that goes. So we wanted to get rid of the compliance piece, and we wanted to get rid of the brokerage piece of doing that. And I love to build business. That is what I love to do. My husband and I have bought and sold 3 businesses. Now we have this one. We just launched an insurance company. We're doing a title company. We're doing a mortgage company. We're launching the subdivision. We have a lot of things going on that are moving parts. And this to me felt like a way that I could provide to my agents. Kyle said this really good. He was like, I could provide them stock to my company when I was independent, but it wouldn't have been worth the paper it was written on. And so being able to offer people stocks, whether the stocks go up, whether the stocks go down, we're being able to offer them something that could potentially help and be a stream of retirement for them someday. As long as you stay to play the long game, stocks work really well. Yeah. And we're able to offer healthcare. We're able to offer an instant buyer program, getting rid of the compliance piece, getting rid of the broker piece, getting rid of the accounting piece, and having, I think I got an email that said there's 60 hours of EXP training like every single week.
Yeah.
I'm like, that takes a huge piece off of me for our team, because I'm like, if there's anything you want to know, go log on and do it. And it's also giving them a revenue stream if they want to recruit somebody who, let's say, isn't right for our team, everybody on our team basically does 40 plus transactions a year. We're already at 100 closed and pending for the year. So our team has a lot of accountability, and that's not for everybody. But now we can have a place where we can say, sit here and be with us, but not be in this level of accountability, but let us come alongside of you and mastermind with you. And that's really cool.
Yeah. I love it. Actually, Gene Frederick put it really good the other day on a call with, forget who it was with, but it was just like a small call. And he was like, at KW, I own 6 of them. There was no help I could give my agents to get what I got. Mm-hmm. Basically, there was a ceiling. There was a cap for them, right? I mean, and then he put it, 10 to 20% would actually probably excel here, but at least that 10 or 20% have a shot, right? And then he was like, Andrew, how many transactions did you do last year? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, doesn't matter. I don't care, because you have to do it year after year after year after year. So I know there was a couple people that were kind of excited for this live, and I know you got to go to your thing, so definitely not going to hold you up much longer, but what would you say to anybody that's like on the fence or doesn't know let's just start with the fence, because doesn't know anything. They just need to reach out to you or I and just get the facts, and not what their brother, sister, or their broke cousin told them. But
well, I'm definitely not going to say it as good as Kyle Whistle does or Dan Beer does, because they've been in it for years and they're the managers. But the whole thing that like I heard before I joined was like, oh, it's a multi-level marketing thing. And I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, isn't every brokerage? Like, I sell a house and I still pay a brokerage, and then I pay a franchise. Well, then I pay a regional, then I pay a franchise. Isn't that multi-level marketing too? Like, isn't being on a team, isn't anything you do multi-level marketing in some form or fashion? Like, you buy something and the person that sells it makes money and the person that owns it makes money. And so that was something that I kind of needed to work through. And then I kind of went through a phase of where I'm like, it's too late. I've already missed the boat. It's too late to join. And Kyle said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so what we do on the decisions on our team is we bring them to everybody and we say, just listen with an open mind and let us know what you think. And when we took it to all of them, it was literally a unanimous yes, because of the things we could offer people in their journeys. Now, it's not going to be everybody's going to take advantage of everything, but it's the pieces of the business that we couldn't offer being independent. And it's the technology of where this company is going. COVID really exposed who was made for these virtual times. And your military, we have a military team, and we work a lot with military. And this made us shine because we were used to doing things virtual. Like when we have sellers here, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. I'm used to my sellers not being here. So like I go check on the house and I'm like, oh yeah, it's occupied. I can't just go check on the house. So for us, like I think Peloton has grown in strides of its company. And I really think EXP set itself up for massive growth because of we're not paying for brick and mortar buildings. We're not paying for people to sit back. We're paying for people to bring us, and we're being taught by people that are actually in the industry. Not people that were in the industry, but really weren't that successful, that are now teaching. We're teaching classes and we're being taught by people that are still in the trenches, giving us up-to-date information. We haven't had that anywhere else. Like we haven't had 60 plus hours. We haven't had the option of stocks. We haven't had the option of healthcare. We haven't had the option of iBuyer programs, which are about to hit Colorado Springs hard from everybody. We haven't had some of those things. And plus the avatars are really cool. Like it's just the way that things are going. Like Zoom is here to stay. Like look what COVID did for Zoom. It's the same thing that it did for EXP. And I'm excited I feel like this is one of the best times to be coming in because they're expected to bring on like over 100,000 agents this year. I could be wrong on that number. Andrew, please correct me.
No, I mean, if we look at it, this time last year, we were at like, I don't know, it was like 2 years ago, 6,000. Next year, 20,000. Now we're at 45,000. Even if we hit 75,000 agents, we are the fastest growing company in the world, right? So if we hit the 100,000, because I've heard that too, I mean, we're light years ahead of everybody. And right now we're right in the middle of that curve at that hockey stick.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that I like is, Glenn Sanford, who, is the boss of EXP, the owner, founder, everything.
Yeah.
He's been on Clubhouse with me, talking and sharing and educating and coming alongside people. I was with that other company for a decade. The owner never came alongside of me. We were the #1 broker for all of the mountain regions. He didn't even know my name. And that's okay. It's not about my name, but it's about coming alongside of people and giving them education and teaching them. And the only other one that I think does it well is Gary Keller. I mean, no matter what brokerage you're at, Gary Keller is very smart.
Yeah.
But their platform isn't the EXP platform.
Yeah.
And so Glenn Sanford, I really believe, is so smart. He's in the trenches with us. He's on Clubhouse. He's engaging. He's educating. I think I'm excited to work for him and with him.
Yeah. I mean, I got goosebumps because just the fact that a leader like himself is in the trenches. Cause I mean, every time I look at my phone, Glenn Sanford in a Clubhouse, and he really built this company for the agents.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm excited. I know you got to go to a client appreciation. So I just want to thank you for your time. I'm excited to see you guys Monday. I think it is for the Mayberry launch, right? For agents, you should be there.
Yes.
So get with Mayberry at treasuredavis.com if you want to get on that list to get the information for that. 20 lots, right?
Yeah. So I want to plug it real quick.
All right, cool.
So I think it's easy to say you love your realtor community. And I think it's easy to say, I value the relationships in, Colorado Springs is a big city, but it's a really small town. Everybody knows everybody. And when we've been working on this subdivision for 3 years, and the inventory is so tight, we could have kept all of this honestly for ourselves. I mean, we really could have, but we were sat down with the marketing team, the owners, the builders, and said, we want to offer this to our realtor community first. We want to give them first shot at this before we release it to the general public. They agreed. And so we're launching it to our realtor community first. We're paying traditional 3% commission, which some of them are going down. Everybody's starting to squeeze our commissions a little bit. We're not squeezing commissions. We're honoring relationships. We're releasing it to our realtor community first on Monday, 10 to 4:30 at our office. We don't have models yet. And then the houses will be done by November, December of this year, so people can get in by Christmas time. The prices are starting at $350, which is unheard of in this market. For a 3-car garage, you can do up to a 5-car RV. We have multi-gen living, and the prices. So it's going to be right outside Schriever, which Schriever is our Air Force base, one of our Air Force bases, and it's going to be right next to Flying Horse East, which is slated to start getting built. The thing I love about Mayberry, well, there's a lot of things I love about Mayberry. First, I love the name. But secondly, what I love about Mayberry is the builder is also the developer. So they're very vested in having our community town center and bringing in, grocery, bringing in gas stations, bringing in amenities that we don't have out there right now. But that's really where the growth is going. Still great mountain views. The schools are great. They're their own metro district, so their own water, sewer. So there's no discrepancy of where the water is going to come from. They have lots of water, which is unheard of for a development. And the floor plans have been designed by Woodley's up in Denver. They are amazing functional floor plans that are going to work for everybody. And I just love the attention to upgrades that they put in. So every house is going to have quartz in the master, quartz in the kitchen, tons of upgrades in it. So anyway, we wanted to release it to our community first, our realtor community. First 20 lots, no lot premiums. We're going to have the designer there talking and showing and having people touch all the upgrades. But we really wanted to honor that we know it's a tough market for our realtor community, and we wanted to release these to our realtor community first and just gauge where everybody's at. And I'm really happy that we did that because it feels like the right move for this community. So you tell me, you're in here with us.
No, I mean, I feel like I was late to the boat because I saw all these people like, I'm interested. And I just like emailed immediately. I was like, I need to get on this list, or I need information. So yeah, we pushed it out to our team. I think it's a great move for the community. I mean, like we talked about it right at the beginning, I think, so we appreciate that, right? That 3%, that 20 lots, released. Hopefully we can get some of our buyers in there but it's hard, right? I mean, we have no inventory and new builds are kind of driving it. And, what better way to get them in an affordable home, right? Rather than having to like price gouge them. Like, I hate to say price gouge, that wasn't the right term, but it's some of these people can't afford a $450,000 house, then their house broke. And then you feel bad because you're like, I don't really want to get you in this house, honestly. So now we're back to square one. So, but yeah, no, I think it's great. We'll be there. So
great. I'm super excited, and we just really want to do right by our community. We wanted to bring something along that's affordable, something that isn't already here. I don't know of another neighborhood that's 3 to 5 car garages with RV and multi-gen for under $500,000. I personally don't know of one.
No, I don't think there is one. Yeah.
We wanted to do something new and innovative, and we wanted to honor our realtor community first before we put it on the MLS and let it go crazy. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate you. Hopefully that surgery goes well, and hopefully I'm actually going snowboarding next Wednesday, so I'm just gonna stay tight, right?
Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't be extreme. Don't be extreme.
Yeah. We're excited to have you at EXP, but we're also excited to continue this partnership in real estate and with your team, our team, and just kind of keep growing the community. And if there's anything we can do for you guys, I know you guys got it covered. I know you guys are ballers, but if there's anything we can do, we got you. So
thank you. That means a lot. And back at you. If there's ever anything we can do as well, we're happy to. So
appreciate that.